Formula One fans, don't you fret. We are back this weekend with the 2025 Austrian Grand Prix, and here's everything you need to know from the track layout to the DRS zones, to the tire allocations, to the weather, and to the potential strategy and who I think could win this weekend in Austria. Let's dive into it. My name is John, the motorsports enthusiast, and this is Track Limits. So this weekend is the Formula One MSC Cruises Austrian Grand Prix. I had to make sure I got that right, which takes place between June 27th and June 29th at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And it's round 11 of the Formula One calendar. And this race is 71 laps, and it's going to be a high octane. It's going to be passing. There's going to be craziness going on this weekend at the Red Bull Ring. So let's dive into what the schedule looks like. Starting on Friday, June 27th, you have practice 1 starting at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, all these times will be Eastern time, with practice 2 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. On Saturday, June 28th, you have practice 3 starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, with qualifying at 10 a.m. Eastern, with the race on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And so with this race, there's a lot of things to look at, but one of the things I'm looking at is passing and tires. And so let's talk about specifically the track, the layout, and what this looks like from a passing perspective. First, with the track length. It's 4.318 kilometers, which is about 2.6 miles. There are 10 corners. It's going clockwise, and there's a significant elevation change with a max gradient of 12% uphill and 9.3% downhill. So very, very pretty decent elevation change on this circuit. So again, like I said before, 71 laps, 10 corners, and let's go through and kind of walk through this virtual track map, you can say. So turn 1, the Niki Lauda curve, is an uphill right-hander, which is a major overtaking spot. You then have a slight kink of turn 2, and then a sharp right-hander at the top of the hill, which is a heavy braking zone, with turn 3. Turn 4 is a right-hander leading onto the back straight, with turns 5, 6, and 7, which is a fast downhill section, essentially. Turn 8 is a hard right-hander. Turn 9 is the penultimate corner, and then turn 10 is the final corner before you go on to the main straight. And so with these corners, you're probably wondering, okay, this track, there's only 10 corners. There can't be that many DRS zones, right? Well, you're wrong. There's 3, which I can't wait to see how this plays out, because I think you could see potentially triple DRS, and I'll explain what that means at the end. But talking about the zone, Zone 1 is on the main straight with the detection point between turn 9 and 10, and the activation zone between turns 10 and turn 1. Zone 2 is the detection point right before turn 1, with the activation points between turns 1 and turn 3. With Zone 3, the detection point right before turn 3, and the activation point between turn 3 and turns 4. So when you look at this circuit and you look at what this could mean, if you have cars that are fairly close together, you could obviously see a DRS chain and DRS train, but what you might see is also triple DRS. So what does this mean? So let's say you are within 1 second of the car in front of you, and you are going into turn number 9. You get the detection point. You are within a second between turn 9 and turn 10. You activate DRS between turn 10 and turn 1. Well, there's another DRS detection point at the end of turn, or right before turn 1. So let's say you pass that first car. Let's say you're within a second of the car in front of you again. You could get that detection point number 2 and the activation point between turn 1 and turn 3. Well, let's say you pass another car, and let's say you get DRS again, and you're within 1 second of that car right before turn 3, where you're going to have DRS again between turns 3 and turns 4. I think you could see, one, a major DRS train at this circuit, but also you could see at the beginning of the race, and depending on how the tire strategy works out, which we'll talk about that next, drivers doing and getting triple DRS, which is going to be kind of crazy to watch straightaway after straightaway after straightaway. So speaking of tires, let's talk about the tire compounds and what Pirelli has available for this weekend's race. You got the C3s, the C4s, the C5s. The C3 is the hard, the C4 is the medium, and the C5 is the soft. Last year we saw a 2-stop strategy, which was the preferred strategy. I don't think we're going to see much differentiation from a strategy perspective this year. I think it's going to be 2-stop again, and I don't think you're going to see the soft tires very much. I think you're going to see majority of the teams running hard tires, probably a hard medium hard stint, or maybe a medium hard hard, depending on how teams qualify. But I believe it'll be a 2-stop strategy. One thing that will affect the strategy is the weather. So first off, I will have to say that it's not going to rain. We don't have to worry about that. But the temps are fairly high. So on Friday for FP1 and FP2, the temperature is going to be 26 degrees Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit. On Saturday for FP3 and qualifying, it'll be 28 degrees Celsius, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. And on Sunday, it'll be the hottest it'll be all weekend long, 31 degrees Celsius, 88 degrees Fahrenheit. So depending on how this track temp is, it's going to be fairly high. I don't know exactly what that track temp's going to be. I definitely think it's going to be well above 100 degrees just because of the temperature in the air. And it doesn't look like there's going to be many clouds. It looks like it's going to be warm, pretty sunny. The only days where you're going to have some partly cloudy skies is for FP1, FP2, FP3, and qualifying. Sunday, it looks like it's going to be all clear, less of 5% chance of rain or any sort of precipitation there. So Sunday, it's going to be a hot one, and the tires are going to matter. So I highly doubt that any teams are going to go with the soft tire compound for this race. So looking at this race, who am I looking at to potentially do well at the Red Bull Ring? Well, you can't count out Red Bull, but again, you have Mercedes that had an incredible win last week. So I think that if you see, and I think you could see Mercedes making a little bit of a comeback. Obviously, they're going to bounce off of the momentum from 2 weeks ago. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. And I think you are going to see a little bit of the same. I think you will see Mercedes on the podium, but I just think McLaren's going to bounce back. I think they are going to be able to have that straight line speed. I think McLaren is going to be the favorite. So I'm going to go Piastri, Lando, and Russell. I think that is going to be the podium. So my pick for this week's race is going to be Oscar Piastri to win. Going to come back, do it well. I just don't see any other teams being able to compete in the way that McLaren and Mercedes are right now. I mean, obviously you have Max, but I just don't think it's going to be his day this weekend. So I'm curious, who do you think is going to win the Austrian GP? Do you think it's going to be a McLaren? Do you think it's going to be a Mercedes? Or maybe could it be a surprise winner? Could it be a Red Bull? Could it be a Ferrari? Who knows? I really don't know. I do think, though, McLaren's going to bounce back. It's going to be a very, very, very big race for them in a multitude of factors. I think Oscar's going to get the pole as well. I think he's going to go flag to flag and win this race. Either way, thank you for watching Track Limits. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Pretty quick episode today just because we don't have a race to recap. That was last week. But make sure to tune in next week for my Austrian GP recap where I talk about everything that went on during the race. And hopefully it'll be an exciting one. We may see some chaos. We may need to talk about some incidents. But either way, thank you for watching and make sure to subscribe right there. Yeah, right there. Perfect. To ATYL Media so you don't miss any motorsport content that we have going out here. We have a multitude of different types of content, different motorsports that you can learn about and you can discover and you can keep up with. So make sure to subscribe to ATYL right there. My name is John, the motorsports enthusiast. I don't have coffee, but I do have some water. I'll catch you next time. Ciao.